My name is Sarah Martinez. I'm 23 years old. And 8 years ago, on a freezing November night, my father looked me straight in the eye and said 7 words that shattered my entire world. Get out. I don't need a sick daughter. I was 15 years old. It was pouring rain. Thunder was shaking the windows, and I had done absolutely nothing wrong. But my 3-year-old sister Jessica, she had just told the most convincing lie of her entire life. A lie so perfect, so calculated, that my parents believed every word without asking a single question. 3 hours later, police officers called my parents to Mercy General Hospital, room 347, intensive care unit. When my dad walked through that door and saw who was sitting beside my hospital bed, his hands started trembling so violently that he had to grip the doorframe just to stay standing. You, his voice cracked. You can't be here. How did you? The woman sitting beside me stood up slowly. White coat. Hospital badge. Authority radiating from every movement. Mr. Martinez, she said, her voice ice cold. I'm Dr. Rebecca Thompson, head of emergency medicine at this hospital, and we need to have a very serious conversation about what you did to your daughter tonight. But before I tell you exactly what happened in that hospital room, I need to ask you something. Please, and I genuinely mean this, only hit that like button if you actually want to hear this story. I'm not here for fake engagement or empty numbers. I'm here because someone watching this right now might desperately need to know they're not alone. Also, drop a comment below. Where are you watching this from? What country? What state? I'd love to know. And one more question. Have you ever been blamed for something you didn't do? Something that changed everything? Just type yes or no in the comments. Now, let me take you back to where this nightmare really began. Back to the moment I first learned that in my family, love wasn't unconditional. It was a competition, and I was always losing. I was 12 years old when I won the State Science Fair Championship, March 15th. I'll never forget that date. 300 students from across the entire state of Texas competed. Kids from expensive private schools in Dallas and Houston with unlimited budgets and parents who were engineers, doctors, and university professors. And then there was me, Sarah Martinez from Lincoln Public High School in a small town outside San Antonio, with a project I'd built in our garage using recycled materials and $20 from my birthday money. My project was called Clean Water, Clear Future, a sustainable water filtration system using sand, gravel, activated charcoal, and a design I'd modified from research papers I'd found online. When they called my name for first place, I thought my heart would explode. First place, out of 300 students. The trophy was heavy and golden and beautiful. I clutched it against my chest, grinning so hard my face hurt. I couldn't wait to get home, couldn't wait to see my parents' faces light up with pride. I burst through the front door at 6:47 p.m. I remember checking my phone. Mom! Dad! I shouted, holding the trophy high above my head. I won! I actually won! First place at the state finals! Mom looked up from her laptop at the kitchen table. She was answering work emails, her reading glasses sliding down her nose. Oh, she blinked. That's wonderful, sweetheart. A brief smile crossed her face. Good job, Mija. Then her eyes went straight back to her screen, just like that. Like I'd just told her I got a B on a math quiz. I stood there in the doorway. The trophy suddenly felt heavier in my hands. It was the state finals, Mom. 300 kids from all over Texas. I beat everyone. Mm-hmm. She nodded absently, still typing. Very impressive, Sarah. Really proud of you. Then Jessica walked in. My little sister was 10 years old. She'd just gotten back from ballet practice at Miss Carolina's dance studio downtown. Her eyes were puffy and red. Her hair was falling out of its bun. Her bottom lip was trembling. They laughed at me, she whispered, her voice breaking. Mom's chair scraped back so fast it almost tipped over. What? Mom rushed to Jessica, hands immediately on her shoulders. Who laughed at you? What happened, baby? During the recital rehearsal, Jessica's voice cracked perfectly. Real tears spilled down her cheeks. I fell. I fell during my pirouette and everyone saw. Everyone laughed. Even Miss Carolina looked disappointed in me. Oh, sweetheart. Mom pulled her into a tight hug. Oh, baby, no. Come here. It's okay. It's going to be okay. Dad appeared from his study, concern written all over his face. "What's going on? Is Jess okay?" "She had a really rough day at dance," Mom said softly, stroking Jessica's hair. The other girls laughed at her. "I'm a failure," Jessica sobbed into Mom's shoulder. "I'll never be a good dancer. Never." "Don't you dare say that." Dad knelt down to eye level with Jessica. "You're incredible, princess. One fall doesn't change that. You know what? Let's go get ice cream right now. Your favorite. Cookie dough with extra chocolate chips from Scoops on Main Street." Jessica sniffled, looking up at him with big, wet eyes. "Really?" "Really." Dad smiled warmly. "Come on, let's go this instant." I cleared my throat. I won the state science competition. First place out of 300 students." Dad glanced at me, barely even a glance. "That's nice, Sarah. We'll celebrate later, okay? Come on, Jess." Later never came. They walked out together. The three of them, Mom, Dad, and Jessica. The door closed behind them with a soft click. I stood alone in our kitchen, trophy still in my hands, still wearing my state finalist badge pinned to my shirt. I placed the trophy carefully on the counter, like it was fragile, like it might shatter. It sat there for 3 entire days before I finally moved it to my room myself. No celebration, no family dinner, no "we're so proud of you, Sarah." Just nothing. That was the first time I realized the truth. But it definitely wasn't the last. Over the next 2 years, I watched the same pattern repeat itself over and over again. I made the honor roll every single semester at Lincoln High, straight A's in AP classes. When Jessica made it just once with mostly B's at her middle school, she got a surprise party with balloons and her favorite tres leches cake from Abuela's bakery. I won the regional debate championship, competing against 17 schools across Central Texas. Jessica lost a soccer game with her rec league team and got a weekend trip to South Padre Island to cheer her up. When I was 14, I was accepted into an elite summer program at UT Austin for gifted students, full scholarship. 2 weeks studying environmental science with actual university professors and researchers. Dad looked up from his phone when I told them at dinner. "That's great, Sarah. Really great." Jessica's eyes immediately filled with tears. "Why does she get to go away for 2 weeks? That's not fair at all. I'll miss her so much." Mom squeezed Jessica's shoulder protectively. "Sarah, maybe you could skip it this year. Your sister really needs you here at home. Family comes first, you know that." "But Mom, it's a full scholarship to UT Austin," I said quietly. "It's an incredible opportunity. They only accept 20 students from the entire state." "There will be other opportunities," Dad said dismissively. "Your sister needs your support right now. Be the bigger person, Sarah." I didn't go to that program. Jessica never thanked me. But I saw her smile when our parents weren't looking. A small, satisfied smile that made my stomach twist. That's when I started to understand something. Something dark and uncomfortable that I didn't want to admit. Jessica knew exactly what she was doing. She wasn't just a sensitive younger sister who needed more attention. She was manipulating them. And it was working perfectly. Then the lying started. At first, it was small things. My favorite blue sweater with the Longhorns logo disappeared from my closet. I found it a week later hanging in Jessica's room. "Jess, that's my sweater," I said, holding it up. "No, it's not." She didn't even look up from her phone. "That's mine. You're confused. It literally has my name written on the tag. I wrote S. Martinez right there myself." She shrugged. "Then you must have written your name on my sweater by mistake. Whatever. Keep it if you want it so badly." When I tried talking to Mom about it, she just sighed. "Sarah, sharing is caring. Don't be petty about clothes." "But she's lying, Mom. She keeps taking my things and then lying about it." Mom's voice got sharper. "Your sister doesn't lie. Don't accuse her of things she didn't do." Then money started disappearing. It was a Tuesday night in October. We were having spaghetti and meatballs for dinner. Dad's phone buzzed. He checked it and frowned deeply. "Sarah," he said slowly, setting down his fork. "Did you take money from my wallet?" I looked up, confused. "What?" "No, I didn't. $40 is missing from my wallet. I had it this morning." "Dad, I didn't take it. I haven't even touched your wallet." Jessica's fork suddenly clattered loudly against her plate. Everyone turned to look at her. She bit her lip looking down. "I didn't want to say anything, But I saw Sarah near Dad's jacket this morning, by the front closet. My stomach dropped like a stone. What? Jessica, I left for school at 6:30 this morning. You were still asleep. I woke up early, Jessica said softly, her voice small and sad. I came downstairs to get some water, and I saw you standing by the closet where Dad keeps his work jacket. That's impossible. I was already on the bus by then. Jessica doesn't lie, Mom said quietly, firmly, final. I stared at my mother in disbelief. But I do? Is that what you're saying, Mom? Sarah. Dad's voice was hard and disappointed. I'm really surprised by this behavior. I honestly thought we raised you better than this. I didn't take any money. My voice rose, desperate. I swear on everything. I would never steal from you. Never. Enough. Dad held up his hand like a judge delivering a verdict. Give me your phone. Right now. What? Why? Your phone. Now. You're grounded for 1 month. No phone. No computer except for homework. No going out with friends after school. But I didn't do anything wrong. And, Dad continued, his voice cold, that internship at my engineering firm I promised you for next summer? The one where you'd shadow me and learn about civil engineering? That's canceled. We can't trust you with that kind of responsibility right now. Tears burned hot in my eyes. I looked around the table desperately, at Dad's stern, disappointed face, at Mom's sad, resigned expression, at Jessica. She was looking down at her plate, pushing spaghetti around with her fork. But I caught it, just for a split second. The corner of her mouth curved up, just slightly. She was smiling. I handed over my phone with shaking hands, pushed back from the table, walked upstairs to my room with my vision blurry from tears. I sat on my bed and stared at the wall for an hour. That's when the truth really hit me. The full, horrible truth. Jessica wasn't just competing for attention anymore. She was actively, methodically destroying my relationship with our parents, testing how far she could push, how much she could get away with. And my parents believed every single word that came out of her mouth. But this? The stolen money? The false accusations? These were just practice. Small lies to see what she could get away with. Because in 8 months, Jessica would tell the biggest lie of all. A lie so devastating, so perfectly crafted, that it would end with me standing in a storm with nowhere to go and my father's words echoing in my ears. Get out. I don't need a sick daughter. The real destruction started with a boy named Ryan Cooper. He wasn't my boyfriend. He wasn't even close to being my boyfriend. He was just a guy from my AP chemistry class who sat 2 seats behind me and occasionally asked for help with stoichiometry problems. But to Jessica, Ryan Cooper was everything. It started in September of my sophomore year. Jessica was in 8th grade at Roosevelt Middle School, and she'd somehow convinced Mom to let her volunteer at the high school library during her free period twice a week. It'll look good on her high school applications, Mom had said. Show initiative and community service. What it actually showed was Jessica walking past my chemistry classroom 4 times every Tuesday and Thursday, always during 3rd period, always when Ryan was there. I didn't notice at first. Why would I? I was focused on balancing equations and taking notes on reaction rates. But Ryan noticed. Hey, Sarah, he said one Thursday after class, catching up to me in the hallway. Is that your sister? The girl who keeps walking by and staring? I looked where he was pointing. Jessica was at the end of the hallway, pretending to read a bulletin board. When she saw us looking, she quickly turned and walked away. Yeah, that's Jessica. She volunteers in the library. Ryan laughed. The library's in the complete opposite direction. I think she might have a crush on someone in our class. He said it casually, friendly. No idea he'd just signed both our death warrants. That night at dinner, Jessica was quiet. Unusually quiet. She pushed her enchiladas around her plate and barely spoke. You feeling okay, mija? Mom asked, concerned as always. I'm fine, Jessica said softly. Just tired. But she wasn't fine. I could feel her watching me. Every time I looked up, her eyes would dart away. 2 days later, Ryan approached me after chemistry class again. Hey, I'm really struggling with this equilibrium constant stuff, he said, holding up his textbook. Any chance you could help me out? Maybe we could study together in the library after school? Sure, I said. I'm free today if you want. Perfect. You're a lifesaver, Sarah. We studied for an hour in the library. Just homework, just chemistry. I explained Le Chatelier's principle 3 different ways until it finally clicked for him. Oh my god, that actually makes sense now, he said, grinning. You should be a teacher. Seriously. I smiled. Maybe someday. What I didn't see was Jessica standing between 2 bookshelves 20 feet away, watching, her phone out, taking pictures. The next Tuesday, Ryan asked if we could study together again before the midterm exam. There's this practice problem set I'm stuck on, he said. You explain things way better than Mr. Henderson does. Sure, no problem. Same time? You're the best. We met in the library again. Same table, same chemistry textbook between us. This time we worked through gas laws and pressure calculations. Jessica was there again. I saw her this time, browsing in the fiction section. When our eyes met, she quickly grabbed a random book and walked to the checkout desk. That night, she didn't come to dinner. Jessica's not feeling well, Mom said, setting down only 3 plates. She's staying in her room. After dinner, I went upstairs, past Jessica's room. Her door was cracked open slightly. I could hear her crying. Soft, heartbroken sobs. I knocked gently. Jess, you okay? Go away. Her voice was muffled. If something's wrong, you can talk to me. I said go away, Sarah. I left her alone, went to my room, did my homework, tried not to think about the ice-cold feeling spreading through my chest. Thursday morning, Jessica didn't ride the bus with me to school. Mom drove her separately, saying she had an early student council meeting. She didn't. What she had was a plan. I found out later from my friend Madison that Jessica had gone straight to the school counselor's office that morning. Mrs. Patterson, a kind woman in her 50s who always wore colorful scarves and genuinely cared about students. Jessica told Mrs. Patterson that she was being bullied, that her older sister was spreading rumors about her, making her life miserable, stealing the attention of a boy Jessica liked just to hurt her. Mrs. Patterson called Jessica's parents, expressed concern, suggested family counseling. Mom and Dad didn't tell me about any of this. They were gathering evidence, building a case. Friday after school, Ryan caught up with me at my locker. Hey, thanks again for all the help this week, he said. I actually feel prepared for the midterm now. No problem. Good luck on the test. You too. He paused, then added, Hey, my friend Tyler's having a small party next weekend. Just like 10 people, very low-key. You should come if you're free. Oh, maybe. I'll let you know. He smiled. Cool. See you Monday. He walked away. I closed my locker. Jessica was standing 10 feet away. Her face was pale. Her eyes were red. And the look she gave me was pure hatred. Jessica. She turned and ran. That weekend was quiet. Too quiet. Jessica stayed in her room most of Saturday and Sunday. Mom and Dad had hushed conversations behind closed doors. The kind where the talking stops the second you walk into the room. Sunday night, I tried talking to Jessica one more time. Knocked on her door. What do you want? She called out. Can I come in? I think we need to talk. There's nothing to talk about. Jess, if this is about Ryan, I'm not interested in him like that. We're just study partners. That's all. Silence. Then her door opened. She stood there, eyes swollen from crying. You knew I liked him, she said quietly. You knew, and you did it anyway. Did what? Help him with chemistry homework? You're trying to take him from me. Her voice was shaking. You always do this. You always take everything. Jessica, that's not true. I'm not trying to take anything from you. Just leave me alone, Sarah. Please, just leave me alone. She closed the door in my face. Monday morning felt wrong from the moment I woke up. The air felt heavy, charged, like the pressure drop before a thunderstorm. Jessica rode the bus with me but sat in the front, as far from me as possible. At school, people were staring at me, whispering. When I walked past a group of Jessica's 8th grade friends in the hallway, they went silent and glared. What's going on? I asked Madison at lunch. She looked uncomfortable. You haven't heard? Heard what? There's a rumor going around that you've been bullying your little sister. Like, really bad stuff. Spreading lies about her, trying to steal her crush, making her life hell at home. My stomach dropped. What? Who's saying this? I don't know where it started, but it's all over social media. There are screenshots of texts supposedly from you saying really mean things about Jessica. Can I see them? Madison pulled out her phone, showed me a group chat screenshot that had been shared and reshared. Messages from an account with my name and profile picture. Jessica is such an attention seeker. Can't believe my parents fall for her fake crying every time. She's pathetic. Obsessed with some random guy who doesn't even know she exists. Wish she'd just transfer schools and leave me alone. I stared at the screen. Those weren't my words. That wasn't even how I texted. I didn't write any of this, I said. Someone's using my name and picture. Madison looked sympathetic but uncertain. I believe you, but Sarah, it looks really real. The screenshots have timestamps and everything. The rest of the day was a nightmare. Teachers looked at me differently. Students avoided me. I felt invisible and hypervisible at the same time. After school, I went straight home. Found Mom in the kitchen making dinner. Mom, something's going on. There are these fake screenshots going around. We need to talk. Mom interrupted. Her voice was cold. Your father will be home in 20 minutes. Go to your room and wait. But Mom. Room, now. I went upstairs, sat on my bed, hands shaking. Outside, dark clouds were gathering. The weather forecast had warned about severe thunderstorms tonight. Flash flood warnings, high winds. 25 minutes later, Dad's truck pulled into the driveway. 5 minutes after that, I heard Jessica crying downstairs. Loud, heaving sobs. My door opened. No knock. Dad stood there, face red with anger. Downstairs, now. I followed him down to the living room. Jessica was on the couch, sobbing in Mom's arms. Her phone was on the coffee table. Sit, Dad ordered. I sat in the chair across from them. Jessica has something to tell us, Mom said gently, stroking Jessica's hair. Take your time, baby. Jessica looked up. Her face was blotchy and tear-stained. When she looked at me, I saw something flicker in her eyes for just a fraction of a second. Something cold, calculating. Then it was gone. Sarah's been bullying me, Jessica whispered. For months. She's been saying horrible things about me online, spreading rumors at school. She's trying to ruin my life. That's not true, I said immediately. Those screenshots are fake. Someone made them to look like me. And Ryan, Jessica continued, voice breaking. She knows I like him. But she's been flirting with him anyway, staying after school with him, trying to make me look stupid. He asked me for help with chemistry, I protested. That's all. We're study partners. Jessica pulled up her sleeve. There was a bruise on her forearm, dark purple and yellow around the edges. She pushed me, Jessica said. Last week, on the stairs at school. Look. The room tilted. I never touched you, I said. Jessica, you know I never touched you. You did. Jessica's voice rose. You grabbed my arm and pushed me. I almost fell down the whole staircase. Mr. Martinez, Mrs. Martinez, I swear on everything, I have never hurt Jessica. Never. I don't know where that bruise came from, but it wasn't from me. Dad stood up. His hands were clenched into fists. Are you calling your sister a liar? I'm saying someone's lying, and it's not me. Jessica doesn't lie. Mom's voice cracked. She's never lied to us. Not once. But I have? My voice was getting louder. Is that what you think? That I'm a liar and a bully? Outside, thunder rumbled. The storm was coming. The evidence is right there, Dad said, pointing at Jessica's phone. Screenshots. Witnesses at school. That bruise. What more do you need to see, Sarah? Those screenshots are fake. Anyone can fake those. And I didn't give her that bruise. So she gave it to herself? Dad's voice was rising now, too. You think your 13-year-old sister bruised herself just to frame you? Yes. The word exploded out of me. Yes, that's exactly what I think. She's been doing this for years. Taking my things and lying about it. Getting me in trouble for things I didn't do. And you believe her every single time. Jessica let out a wounded sob. How can you say that about me? Because it's true. I was shouting now, desperate. You've been manipulating them since we were kids, Jessica. You know it and I know it. Tell them the truth. Please, just tell them the truth. Dad took a step toward me. His face was dark with rage. That's enough. I don't even recognize you right now, Sarah. What happened to you? Nothing happened to me. I'm trying to tell you. You're trying to blame your innocent sister for your own behavior. His voice shook the windows. You've been caught. The evidence is overwhelming, and instead of taking responsibility, you're doubling down and making it worse. Rain started hammering against the windows. Lightning flashed. "Mom," I turned to her, begging. "Please, please just listen to me. I would never hurt Jessica. I would never bully her. Someone is setting me up." Mom's eyes were full of tears, but her voice was steady. "I think you need help, Sarah. Professional help. We'll make an appointment with a therapist tomorrow." "I don't need a therapist. I need you to believe me." Dad's jaw clenched. "Get out." The words were quiet, almost a whisper. "What?" "Get out of my sight. Right now." "Dad, it's storming. Where am I supposed to?" "I don't care!" His voice exploded. "Get out of this house. I don't need a sick daughter like you living under my roof." The words hit like a physical blow. Sick daughter. Mom didn't stop him. Didn't say a word. Jessica watched from the couch. Her tears had stopped. And she smiled. I stood frozen in the living room for 3 full seconds. My brain couldn't process what had just happened. "Get out." Dad's voice was shaking with rage. "Now, Sarah. Right now." "Dad, please." My voice cracked. "It's pouring outside. There's a flash flood warning. Just let me stay until—" "I said now!" He pointed at the front door. "Get out of my house!" Thunder cracked so loud the walls shook. Rain hammered against the windows like bullets. The TV in the corner was showing a weather alert. Severe thunderstorm warning until midnight. Dangerous conditions. Stay indoors. I looked at Mom one last time, silently begging her to say something. Anything. Stop this insanity. She turned away, kept her arm around Jessica. My legs moved on autopilot. I grabbed my jacket from the hook by the door. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely zip it up. "Can I at least get my phone?" I asked quietly. "You're grounded, remember?" Dad's voice was ice. "No phone, no computer, nothing. You don't deserve any of it." "How am I supposed to call someone? How am I supposed to—" "That's your problem now." He crossed his arms. "You made your choices. Live with the consequences." I pulled my jacket hood up, reached for the doorknob. Through the window beside the door, I could see our street, completely flooded. Water rushing down the gutters like rivers, tree branches whipping in the wind. I turned back one more time. "Please don't do this." Dad's face was stone. "Goodbye, Sarah." I opened the door. The wind nearly ripped it from my hands. Rain hit me immediately, soaking through my jeans in seconds. The door slammed shut behind me. I stood on the porch, water already pooling around my shoes. Through the window, I could see my family in the living room. Dad pacing, Mom holding Jessica, Jessica's face buried in Mom's shoulder. Then Jessica looked up, looked directly at me through the window. And she smiled. Not a sad smile, not a sympathetic smile, a satisfied smile. The smile of someone who'd gotten exactly what they wanted. I turned away and stepped into the storm. The rain was brutal, cold and hard, like tiny ice pellets hitting my face. Within 30 seconds, I was soaked completely through. My jacket was useless. Water ran down my neck, soaked into my shirt, my jeans, my shoes. I started walking, away from the house, away from the family that just threw me away like garbage. Where was I going? I had no idea. No phone to call anyone, no money in my pockets, no plan. Our street was already flooding. Water covered the sidewalks, rushing toward the storm drains that couldn't keep up. I waded through it, cold water soaking my shoes and socks. My mind was racing. Maybe I could go to Madison's house. She lived about a mile away. Her parents were nice. They'd let me in, let me explain, let me call someone. But who would I call? My parents had just kicked me out. They thought I was sick, disturbed, a bully who hurt her own sister. Abuela. I could call Abuela. My grandmother lived in San Antonio, about 40 minutes away. She'd always loved me. She'd believe me. But I had no phone. And Madison's house was a mile away through flooding streets in a thunderstorm. I kept walking. The wind was getting worse. Tree branches bent at crazy angles. A garbage can blew past me, rolling down the street. Lightning lit up everything for a second, bright as day, then darkness again. I passed the Martinez's house. Mr. Martinez was on his porch, looking at the flooding street. He saw me. "Sarah, what are you doing out here? Get inside, kid. This storm is dangerous." I kept walking. Didn't stop. Didn't answer. If I stopped, if I talked, I'd break down completely. Sarah, he called after me. Come back! You can't be out in this! I turned the corner, kept going. My teeth started chattering. The cold was seeping into my bones. November in Texas wasn't supposed to be this cold, but the rain and wind made it feel like winter. Cars drove past slowly, headlights cutting through the rain. None of them stopped. Why would they? Just a stupid teenager walking in a storm. Probably going to a friend's house. Probably fine. I reached the main road. Water was rushing across the intersection, deeper here. I stopped at the curb, trying to figure out how deep it was. A car pulled up beside me, window rolled down. A woman in her 30s, concerned face. Honey, you need a ride somewhere. You shouldn't be out in this. I almost said yes. Almost got in that car. Let a stranger take me somewhere, anywhere dry and warm. But where would I tell her to take me? Home? I didn't have a home anymore. Madison's house? I didn't know the exact address. The police station? And tell them what? My parents kicked me out because my sister lied about me? They'd just call my parents, and Dad would tell them I was troubled, disturbed, making up stories. I'm okay, I said. My voice sounded hollow. Just going to a friend's house. It's close. You sure? This weather is nasty. I'm sure. Thank you. She looked doubtful but rolled up her window and drove off slowly, taillights disappearing into the rain. I crossed the intersection. The water was mid-calf deep. So cold it hurt. I gasped, pushed forward, made it to the other side. Madison's neighborhood was still half a mile away. I could do this. I just had to keep walking. My phone would have GPS right now, would show me exactly where to go, exactly how far. But I didn't have my phone, didn't have anything except this useless jacket and the clothes on my back. I thought about Jessica, about her smile through the window, about years of small lies building to this moment. The money she stole and blamed on me, the fake screenshots, that bruise on her arm that she absolutely gave herself. I knew it. She'd done it specifically to frame me. How long had she been planning this? Days? Weeks? Had she been waiting for the perfect moment to destroy me completely? And Mom and Dad, they'd believed her without question, without a single doubt, kicked their own daughter out into a dangerous storm because Jessica cried and showed them some fake evidence. Sick daughter. Those words kept echoing in my head, Dad's voice full of disgust. Sick daughter. Like I was diseased, broken, wrong. Tears mixed with rain on my face. I couldn't tell which was which anymore. A massive lightning bolt struck somewhere close. The thunder came instantly, so loud I felt it in my chest. I flinched, stumbled, kept walking. The street signs were blurry. I couldn't read them in the rain and dark. Was I even going the right direction? Nothing looked familiar. I should have reached Madison's neighborhood by now. Where was I? I turned down another street. More flooding, more rain. A fallen tree branch blocked half the sidewalk. I climbed over it, slipped, caught myself on the wet bark. My hands were numb, my feet were numb, my whole body was shaking uncontrollably now. How long had I been walking? 20 minutes? 30? An hour? Time felt weird, stretched out and compressed at the same time. I needed to find shelter, needed to get out of this rain before hypothermia set in. I learned about hypothermia in health class last year. The symptoms: shivering, confusion, slurred speech, loss of coordination. I was definitely shivering. Was I confused? Maybe. Everything felt foggy and slow. There was a bus stop ahead. A small shelter with a bench and a roof. Not much, but better than nothing. I stumbled toward it. My legs felt heavy, uncoordinated. Made it to the shelter. Collapsed onto the bench. At least the roof blocked some of the rain. I pulled my knees up to my chest, wrapped my arms around them, tried to stop shaking. Couldn't. A bus schedule was posted on the wall. I tried to read it, but the words kept blurring. My eyes wouldn't focus properly. That's bad, I thought distantly. That's a symptom. Vision problems. Confusion. I needed to keep moving, needed to find help. But I was so cold, so tired. Just a few minutes of rest. Just a few minutes. My eyes started closing. No, stay awake. You have to stay awake. I forced my eyes open, stood up on shaky legs, held onto the bus shelter pole for support. Keep walking. Madison's house. You're close. You have to be close. I stepped back into the rain. The intersection ahead had a traffic light. Green light. Cars were supposed to stop for red, go for green. Simple. I reached the intersection. The light was green. I started crossing. I heard it before I saw it. Engine roaring. Tires on wet pavement. Getting closer. Getting louder. I turned my head. Headlights. Bright and blinding. Coming fast. Too fast for the conditions. The car was sliding. Hydroplaning. The driver hit the brakes, but it was too late. I tried to jump back. Tried to get out of the way. Not fast enough. The impact threw me sideways. I felt myself hit the hood. Then the pavement. Hard. Pain exploded through my skull. White hot and all-consuming. I couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. Rain poured into my mouth. My eyes. Everything was sideways. Wrong. The street was vertical. Or I was horizontal. I couldn't tell. Car door slamming. Footsteps running. Splashing through water. Oh my God! Oh my God, no! A woman's voice. Panicked. Terrified. Sweetie, can you hear me? Don't move. Just don't move. I tried to answer. Nothing came out. Just a weak sound. Not even a word. I'm calling 911. Stay with me. Please stay with me. Her hands on my shoulder. Gentle. What's your name? Can you tell me your name? Sarah, I managed. My voice didn't sound like mine. Okay, Sarah. I'm Dr. Rebecca Thompson. I'm a doctor. You're going to be okay. Help is coming. My parents, I whispered. Rain kept pouring into my mouth. They don't. They kicked me out. What? Her voice changed. What did you say? They don't want me. Said I'm sick. Told me to leave. I felt her hand tighten on my shoulder. How old are you, Sarah? 15. Silence. Just rain and thunder. Then her voice again, but different now. Harder. Controlled. Your parents kicked you out? Tonight? In this storm? I tried to nod. Pain shot through my neck. Everything went fuzzy. Sarah? Sarah, stay with me. Keep your eyes open. But they were so heavy. Everything hurt. The darkness looked so comfortable. Peaceful. Era. Her voice got farther away. Or I got farther away. I couldn't tell which. Sirens in the distance. Getting closer. Lights flashing red and blue through my eyelids. More voices. Hands lifting me. Something hard underneath me. A stretcher. 15-year-old female, hit by vehicle, head trauma, possible internal injuries, altered mental status. The voices faded in and out. Parents kicked her out in the storm. She said they told her she's sick. What? Get CPS on the line. Now. BP dropping. We need to move. Let's go. The ambulance doors slammed. Engine starting. Siren wailing. I felt Dr. Thompson's hand holding mine. You're safe now, she said. But her voice sounded far away. I promise. You're safe. Safe. I hadn't felt safe in so long I'd forgotten what the word meant. Everything went black. The last thing I thought before the darkness took me completely was Jessica's smile through the window. She'd won. She'd finally won. I woke up to the sound of machines beeping. Everything hurt. My head felt like someone had split it open with an axe. My body ached in places I didn't know could ache. Even breathing hurt. I tried to open my eyes. The fluorescent lights were too bright. I squeezed them shut again. Sarah? A gentle voice. Female. Close by. Sarah, can you hear me? I managed to open my eyes halfway, squinted against the light. A woman in a white coat sat beside my bed. Dark hair pulled back. Kind eyes. Hospital badge clipped to her coat. Dr. Rebecca Thompson. The woman from the accident. You're awake. That's good. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. You're at Mercy General Hospital. You were in a car accident. Do you remember? I tried to nod. Pain shot through my skull. Yeah, I whispered. My throat was raw. You have a severe concussion, 3 broken ribs, and mild hypothermia. You're very lucky, Sarah. It could have been much worse. Lucky. I'd been hit by a car in a storm after my parents threw me out. Lucky wasn't the word I'd use. How long? My voice was barely audible. You've been unconscious for about 4 hours. It's almost midnight now. Midnight. My parents had kicked me out around 8. 4 hours ago. 4 hours that felt like a lifetime. Your parents are on their way, Dr. Thompson said, watching my face carefully. I flinched. actually physically flinched. She noticed. Her expression hardened slightly. Sarah, before they get here, I need to ask you something. What you told me at the accident scene, about your parents kicking you out, was that true? I closed my eyes. Tears leaked out the corners. Yes. Why did they kick you out? My sister lied. They believed her. What did she lie about? Everything came spilling out. The years of favoritism, the stolen money, the fake screenshots, the bruise Jessica gave herself, Ryan Cooper, the accusation, Dad's words, sick daughter. Dr. Thompson listened without interrupting. Her hand rested on the bed rail, knuckles white from gripping it. When I finished, she was quiet for a long moment. Sarah, I'm a mandated reporter. Do you know what that means? I nodded weakly. I've already contacted Child Protective Services. What your parents did tonight? Kicking a minor out during a severe weather emergency? That's abuse. Neglect at minimum. They'll just say I'm lying too, I whispered. Just like Jessica. Maybe. But I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here until this gets sorted out properly. Footsteps in the hallway. Voices. Urgent. Scared. The door burst open. Dad rushed in first. His face was pale, eyes wild. He saw me on the bed covered in bandages and wires and stopped dead. Sarah. His voice cracked. Mom was right behind him. She gasped when she saw me. Hand flew to her mouth. Jessica hung back by the door. Her face was unreadable. Dad took a step toward my bed. Dr. Thompson stood up, blocking his path. Mr. Martinez. Mrs. Martinez. Her voice was professional, cold. I'm Dr. Rebecca Thompson, head of emergency medicine at this hospital. Is she okay? Is our daughter okay? Mom's voice shook. Your daughter has a severe concussion, broken ribs, and nearly died from hypothermia tonight. Dad's hands started shaking, visibly trembling. He gripped the back of a chair to steady himself. Oh, God, he whispered. Oh, God, Sarah, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean. You didn't mean to kick your 15-year-old daughter out in a flash flood? Dr. Thompson's voice cut like a knife. You didn't mean to tell her she was sick and unwanted? Mom's face crumpled. We thought, Jessica said. I don't care what Jessica said. Dr. Thompson stepped closer to them. You sent a child into a dangerous storm, a child who could have died tonight, who almost did die. It was a mistake, Dad said desperately. A terrible mistake. We were angry. We weren't thinking clearly. No, you weren't, Doctor. Thompson's jaw was tight. Sarah told me everything. About the years of favoritism, the lies your younger daughter has been telling, the pattern of believing her without question. Jessica's face went pale. That's not. Sarah's confused. Mom started. She hit her head. She doesn't know what she's saying. I know exactly what I'm saying. My voice was weak but clear. And Dr. Thompson knows the truth. Dad looked at me. Really looked at me. At the bandages on my head, the IV in my arm, the monitors tracking my heartbeat. His hands shook harder. He had to grip the doorframe now. Just like in my opening words, his hands wouldn't stop shaking. You can't be here, he whispered. You should be. We thought you'd go to a friend's house. We didn't think you'd actually. Actually what? Dr. Thompson demanded. Actually take you seriously when you screamed at her to get out? 2 police officers appeared in the doorway. 1 male, 1 female. Uniforms, badges, serious expressions. Mr. and Mrs. Martinez, the female officer said. I'm Officer Chen. This is Officer Rodriguez. We need to ask you some questions about what happened tonight. Dad's face went gray. Officers, this is a family matter, a misunderstanding. Endangering a minor during a weather emergency isn't a misunderstanding, sir, Officer Rodriguez said. It's a crime. Jessica made a small sound. Everyone turned to look at her. She was crying. Real tears this time, but not manipulative tears. These looked different. Scared tears. I didn't think, she whispered. I didn't think they'd actually kick her out. I just wanted. Wanted what? Mom turned to her. Jessica, what are you talking about? Jessica's face crumbled. I made it up. The screenshots, the bruise, all of it. I made it all up. The room went completely silent. Dad stared at Jessica. What? Ryan didn't like me. He liked Sarah. Or he was going to like Sarah. And I couldn't. I couldn't stand it. Jessica was sobbing now. She's always better than me, at everything. I just wanted Mom and Dad to pay attention to me for once. So you lied? Mom's voice was barely a whisper. You lied about your sister bullying you? I gave myself that bruise. With a hammer. In the bathroom at school. Jessica's words came faster now. And the screenshots I made with a fake text generator. And I never saw Sarah near Dad's wallet. I took the money myself. Mom sat down hard in a chair, like her legs had given out. Dad just stood there, hands shaking, staring at Jessica like he'd never seen her before. You destroyed your sister's life, Officer Chen said quietly. Do you understand that? Jessica nodded, sobbing. Mr. and Mrs. Martinez, Officer Rodriguez said. We still need statements from both of you, and Child Protective Services will be conducting a full investigation. Sarah's not going back to that house, Dr. Thompson said firmly. Not until this is resolved properly. Where will she go? Mom asked weakly. Dr. Thompson looked at me, then back at my parents. She'll stay with me. I've already started the emergency foster placement paperwork. Dad's head snapped up. You can't just take our daughter. You threw her away, Mr. Martinez. Dr. Thompson's voice was ice. You don't get to complain when someone else picks her up. I closed my eyes. Let the words wash over me. The arguing, the accusations, the crying. For the first time in 8 years, someone was fighting for me. Not against me. For me. Dr. Thompson's hand found mine, squeezed gently. Rest now, she said softly. I'm not going anywhere. I believed her. Outside my hospital room, I could hear Dad crying. Deep, broken sobs. His hands still shaking, still gripping the doorframe. Too late, I thought. Years too late. I drifted back to sleep. Dr. Thompson's hand still holding mine. I spent 3 days in the hospital. 3 days of doctors checking my vitals, nurses changing bandages, and Dr. Thompson sitting in the chair beside my bed like a guardian angel who refused to leave. My parents came once. Just once. They stood at the foot of my hospital bed on day 2, looking like strangers. Dad's eyes were red and swollen. Mom couldn't stop crying. Jessica wasn't with them. Sarah, Dad started, his voice hoarse. We need to talk about what happened. There's nothing to talk about, I said quietly, staring at the ceiling. Please, Mija. We made a terrible mistake. A mistake is forgetting to buy milk at the store. You threw me out in a storm and told me I was sick. Mom sobbed harder. We were wrong. So wrong. Jessica told us the truth. She admitted everything. Good for Jessica. My voice was flat, empty. We want you to come home, Dad said desperately. We'll make this right. We'll go to family therapy, whatever it takes. I finally looked at them. Really looked at them. I don't want to come home. Dad's face crumpled. Sarah, please don't say that. Dr. Thompson has offered me a place to stay. I've accepted. She can't just take you, Mom said, wiping her eyes. We're your parents. Are you? The question hung in the air like poison. Because parents protect their children. They believe them. They don't throw them away like garbage. A knock on the door interrupted us. A woman in her 40s entered, carrying a briefcase and wearing a kind smile. She had warm brown skin and gray streaks in her black hair. Good afternoon, I'm Carmen Rodriguez from Child Protective Services. She looked at my parents. Mr. and Mrs. Martinez, I need to speak with Sarah privately. Dad opened his mouth to protest. Now, please, Carmen said firmly. They left. Dad's shoulders slumped in defeat. Mom wouldn't stop crying. When the door closed, Carmen sat down and pulled out a folder. Sarah, I've reviewed your case thoroughly. I've spoken with Dr. Thompson, the police officers, your school counselor, and several of your teachers. I also interviewed your sister Jessica. My stomach tightened. What did she say? She confessed to everything. The lies, the manipulation, the fake evidence. She was very honest about what she did. Carmen paused. She also said she's been doing this for years, that your parents always believed her over you. I nodded slowly. I've also spoken with neighbors and family friends. Several people mentioned noticing the favoritism in your household. Your chemistry teacher, Mr. Henderson, said you're one of his best students. Your school counselor said you've never had a single behavioral issue. So you believe me? My voice cracked. Yes, Sarah, I believe you completely. Relief flooded through me so powerfully I started crying. Carmen handed me a tissue. Here's what's going to happen. Dr. Thompson has applied for emergency foster placement. Given the circumstances, I'm approving it. You'll stay with her while we complete a full investigation into your home situation. What about Jessica? Your parents are required to attend parenting classes and family therapy. Jessica will be seeing a therapist as well. What she did was serious, and there will be consequences. Will I have to go back eventually? Carmen looked at me with understanding eyes. That's up to you, Sarah. You're 15. Your voice matters in this process. If you don't feel safe going home, we'll work on a long-term placement solution. That evening, Dr. Thompson helped me fill out paperwork. Her hand was steady as she signed her name on the foster placement forms. You don't have to do this, I said quietly. You don't even know me. She looked up from the papers. When I was 17, my stepfather kicked me out for standing up to him. A teacher took me in, changed my entire life. I became a doctor because of her kindness. Really? Really? She smiled. Sometimes we're put in people's paths for a reason, Sarah. You stumbled into mine quite literally. I'm not letting you go back to a place where you're not valued. What if I'm too broken, too damaged? Dr. Thompson reached across and took my hand. You're not broken, you're hurt. There's a difference. Hurt heals. And I'm going to make sure you have the space and support to heal properly. I was released from the hospital on day 4. Dr. Thompson drove me to her house in a quiet neighborhood on the north side of town. It was a small 2-story home with a blue door and flower boxes in the windows. The guest room is yours, she said, showing me upstairs. I cleaned it out yesterday. We can decorate however you want. The room was simple, clean white walls, a bed with a soft blue comforter, a desk by the window, empty shelves waiting to be filled. It was the most beautiful room I'd ever seen. There are some clothes in the closet, Dr. Thompson continued. I guessed your size. We can go shopping this weekend for anything else you need. You didn't have to do all this. I know. I wanted to. That first night, I lay in the unfamiliar bed, staring at the ceiling. Everything felt surreal. 4 days ago, I'd been standing in my parents' living room being called sick. Now I was in a stranger's house who cared more about me than my own family. My phone buzzed on the nightstand. Dr. Thompson had gotten me a new phone that afternoon. A text from an unknown number. Sarah, it's Jessica. I'm so sorry. I know sorry isn't enough. I ruined everything. I don't expect you to forgive me. I just needed you to know I told them the truth. All of it. I hate myself for what I did. I stared at the message for a long time. Part of me wanted to respond, to scream at her, to ask why, to demand answers for years of torture. Instead, I deleted the message and blocked the number. Some apologies come too late. Some damage can't be undone with words. Dr. Thompson knocked softly on my door. Everything okay? Yeah, I said. Everything's okay. And for the first time in years, I actually meant it. 5 years changed everything. I'm not going to lie and say it was easy. Those first few months living with Dr. Thompson were some of the hardest of my life, not because of her, because of me. I didn't know how to accept kindness, didn't know how to trust that someone wouldn't suddenly turn on me. Every time Dr. Thompson did something nice, I waited for the catch, for the moment she'd get tired of me and send me back. That moment never came. She insisted I call her Rebecca instead of Dr. Thompson. We're family now, she said. At least, I hope we will be. Family. The word felt foreign in my mouth. Rebecca enrolled me in a new high school across town. Lincoln High held too many bad memories, too many people who'd heard Jessica's lies. At my new school, Roosevelt High, I was just Sarah, a quiet junior who kept to herself and got straight A's. I started therapy twice a week with a woman named Dr. Patricia Kim. She was in her 50s, spoke in a calm voice, and never pushed me to talk about things before I was ready. Healing isn't linear, she told me during our 3rd session. Some days you'll feel strong. Other days you'll feel like you're back in that storm. Both are okay. Slowly, carefully, I started to believe her. Rebecca made dinner every night. Real, home-cooked meals. We'd sit at her kitchen table and she'd ask about my day, actually listen to my answers, actually care about what I had to say. How is chemistry today? She'd ask. Good. We're studying reaction rates. I actually understood everything Mr. Park explained. That's because you're brilliant. She said it so casually, like it was a fact, not a compliment. I wasn't used to that. At my old house, my achievements were background noise. Here, they were celebrated. When I made the honor roll my first semester at Roosevelt, Rebecca took me out for dinner at my favorite restaurant. "I'm proud of you," she said over pasta and breadsticks. I almost cried into my spaghetti. 6 months after moving in with Rebecca, the court finalized my foster placement. My parents had completed their mandatory classes but hadn't fought for custody. They'd sent letters, apologizing, begging for another chance. I didn't respond to any of them. Jessica sent emails. Long, rambling messages full of apologies and explanations and desperate pleas for forgiveness. I deleted them without reading past the first line. Carmen Rodriguez, my CPS caseworker, checked in monthly. "Your parents are asking if you'd consider supervised visits." "No," I said firmly. "I'm not ready. I might never be ready." "That's okay, Sarah. You get to set those boundaries." Boundaries. That was a word Dr. Kim used a lot in therapy. I was learning what healthy boundaries looked like, what it meant to protect myself without feeling guilty. My senior year of high school, something unexpected happened. I started to thrive. I joined the science club. Made friends with a girl named Ashley who loved chemistry as much as I did. Started tutoring underclassmen in math and science. "You're really good at explaining things," Ashley said one day after I'd helped her through a tough calculus problem. "Have you thought about becoming a teacher?" I hadn't. But the idea planted itself in my brain and started growing. I applied to colleges that fall: UT Austin, Texas A and M Rice University, all with strong education programs. Rebecca helped me with my essays. We sat at the kitchen table, her reading glasses perched on her nose, marking up my drafts with a red pen. "This is good, but dig deeper here," she'd say. "Tell them why education matters to you. Make them feel it." I rewrote my main essay 6 times. It was about broken families and chosen families, about teachers and mentors who see potential in kids that others have given up on, about becoming the person who helps others the way Rebecca helped me. When I finally submitted my applications, Rebecca hugged me tight. "I'm so proud of the woman you're becoming." Woman, not girl, not broken daughter. Woman. I got accepted to UT Austin with a full academic scholarship. Rebecca cried when we opened the acceptance letter together. Happy tears this time. "You did this," she said, wiping her eyes. "All you. Your intelligence, your hard work, your resilience." College was a fresh start, a chance to completely reinvent myself. I majored in education with a focus on at-risk youth, students who fell through the cracks, kids from difficult families who needed someone to believe in them. I studied hard, made the dean's list every semester, joined organizations that mentored underprivileged students, volunteered at youth crisis centers on weekends. During my junior year at UT, I started developing an idea: a scholarship program for students from broken homes, kids who'd been kicked out, abused, neglected, kids who needed a second chance. I wrote the proposal for a class project. My professor, Dr. Williams, called me into his office after reading it. "This is exceptional work, Sarah," he said. "Have you thought about actually implementing this?" I wouldn't know where to start. "I do. Let me introduce you to some people." Dr. Williams connected me with the university's grant office. They helped me write funding proposals, apply for nonprofit status, build a real program from my class project. By my senior year, the Second Chances Scholarship was real. We'd secured $50,000 in funding, helped 12 students stay in school who otherwise would have dropped out. Local news stations started calling, wanting to interview me about the program. I said yes, but only if we focused on the students we'd helped, not on my personal story. "Why education?" one reporter asked during an interview. "Because someone believed in me when my own family didn't," I said carefully. "Education gave me options, freedom, a future. Every kid deserves that, regardless of where they come from." The interview aired on the evening news. My phone buzzed with texts from friends congratulating me. Then one text came through that made my blood run cold. Unknown number. "Sarah, it's Mom. We saw you on the news. We're so proud of you. Can we please talk?" I stared at the message for a long time. 5 years. 5 years of silence from me. And now they wanted to talk because I was on TV? I showed the text to Rebecca. We were having dinner at her place. I still came home most weekends even though I had an apartment near campus. "What do you want to do?" she asked gently. I don't know. Part of me wants to respond. Part of me wants to throw my phone across the room. Both reactions are valid. What would you do? Rebecca set down her fork. I'd ask myself, will engaging with them help me heal or set me back? Only you can answer that. I thought about it for 3 days. Finally typed a response. I'm not ready to talk. Please respect that. Mom replied immediately. We understand. We'll wait. We love you, Mija. I didn't respond again. A month later, another unexpected message came. This one from Jessica. Sarah, I don't expect you to read this. I just needed to say it. I'm in therapy. Have been for years. I know what I did was unforgivable. I destroyed you because I was jealous and cruel. I'm getting married next year. And I realized I can't move forward with my life until I truly own what I did to you. You don't have to forgive me. You don't have to respond. I just needed you to know. It was never your fault. It was always mine. I'm sorry. I'll be sorry for the rest of my life. I read that message 5 times. Then I saved it. Didn't delete it. Didn't respond. Just saved it. Maybe someday I'd be ready to respond. Maybe not. Either way was okay. I graduated from UT Austin magna cum laude at age 22. Rebecca sat in the front row at my graduation, crying and cheering louder than anyone else. I'm so proud of you, she said afterward, hugging me tight. I couldn't have done this without you. Yes, you could have. You're the strongest person I know. After graduation, I got hired as a program coordinator for the Second Chances Scholarship. We expanded to 3 universities, helped 47 students, raised over $200,000. I was invited to speak at conferences, write articles for education journals, consult with other schools starting similar programs. At age 23, I received an invitation that stopped me in my tracks. Riverside State University wanted me as their keynote speaker for graduation. The theme, resilience and educational equity. We believe your story embodies everything this ceremony should represent, the invitation read. I almost declined immediately. Public speaking about my personal story? No way. Then I saw the location, Riverside State University, in a small town 2 hours from where I grew up, the same university Jessica attended, the same university where she'd be graduating this spring. I stared at the invitation for a week. Finally called Rebecca. What do you think I should do? What do you want to do? I think I want to close that chapter. Properly. On my terms. Then do it. Head held high. Show them who you became despite everything. I accepted the invitation and started writing the most important speech of my life. The day of Jessica's graduation arrived with clear blue skies. I stood backstage at Riverside State University's auditorium, smoothing down my navy dress for the 100th time. My heart hammered against my ribs. Rebecca stood beside me, looking elegant in an emerald green dress. She squeezed my hand. You've got this, she whispered. Remember, this is your story. You control the narrative now. I nodded, but my mouth was dry. The auditorium was packed. 2,000 people, families, friends, graduates in caps and gowns filling the front rows. Somewhere in that sea of people sat my parents. And Jessica. They had no idea I was the keynote speaker. The program listed my name, but buried in small print. Most people didn't read speaker bios carefully. President Walsh walked to the podium. The crowd quieted. Welcome, graduates, families, and honored guests. Today we celebrate achievement, resilience, and the transformative power of education. His voice echoed through the space. Our keynote speaker embodies these values. She's dedicated her career to ensuring every student, regardless of circumstance, has access to opportunity. Please welcome the founder of the Second Chances Scholarship Program, Sarah Martinez. Polite applause filled the auditorium. I stepped into the lights, walked across the stage on legs that felt like rubber, reached the podium, gripped its edges, looked out at the crowd, and saw them. Row 12, my parents. Dad's hair was grayer than I remembered. Mom looked older, tired. And Jessica. Row 3 with the other graduates. Cap and gown. Honor cords around her neck. She was clapping politely, smiling, talking to the girl beside her. Then she looked up at the stage. Looked at me. Her hands froze mid-clap. The smile slid off her face. Recognition, shock, horror. The girl next to her whispered something. Jessica didn't respond, just stared. Behind her, my parents were still clapping, not really looking, just polite audience members. Then Dad glanced at the program, squinted at the name, looked up at the stage. His face went white, his hands started trembling, the program slipped from his fingers. Mom noticed his reaction, looked at him, then at the stage, then at the program on the floor. Her hand flew to her mouth. I smiled. Professional, calm, in control. "Good morning," I said. My voice carried clearly through the speakers. Strong, steady. "Thank you, President Walsh. It's an honor to be here." I looked directly at Jessica. She'd gone completely pale. "Today I want to talk about resilience, about what happens when the people who are supposed to protect you hurt you instead, about losing everything and finding yourself anyway." The auditorium was silent now, attentive. When I was 15 years old, I was told I was sick, broken, unwanted. I was kicked out of my home during a thunderstorm because my family believed a lie instead of my truth. Whispers rippled through the crowd, people shifting uncomfortably. I wandered alone in that storm. No phone, no money, nowhere to go. 3 hours later, I was hit by a car. Nearly died from my injuries and hypothermia. Jessica's face crumpled. Tears started streaming down her cheeks. The girl beside her looked confused, concerned. But someone stopped. Someone helped. Dr. Rebecca Thompson saw potential where my own family saw problems. She became my family when biology failed me. Rebecca wiped her eyes from the front row. That experience taught me something crucial. Your worth isn't determined by who stays. It's determined by who you become after they leave. I paused. Let the words settle. The Second Chances Scholarship exists for students whose families failed them, who've been told they're not enough, who need someone to believe in them. Because I was that student once. Dad's hands were shaking so badly now he had to grip the armrests of his seat. Mom was crying silently. Today we're celebrating graduates, young people stepping into their futures. But I want you to remember something as you leave here. Success isn't about proving people wrong. It's about building something meaningful despite them. I looked across the sea of graduates, saw hope, understanding, connection. Some of you come from difficult homes. Some have been told you'll never amount to anything. Some have family members who doubted you every step of the way. I paused. You don't owe them your success. You don't owe them reconciliation. You owe yourself peace. Jessica was sobbing now, her shoulders shaking. People around her were staring. Forgiveness is complicated. It doesn't always mean reconciliation. You can release anger without giving toxic people access to your life. That's not cruelty. That's self-preservation. I gripped the podium. Almost done. So to the graduating class, I leave you with this. Your family might be the people you share DNA with, or they might be the ones who chose you when others walked away. Both are valid. Both are real. Standing ovation. Starting slowly. Building. Students rising. Faculty. Families. Not everyone stood. Dad remained seated, hands covering his face. Mom stood mechanically, clapping weakly, tears streaming. Jessica didn't move, just sat there, staring at me, destroyed. I stepped back from the podium. President Walsh was beaming. "Thank you, Miss Martinez. That was powerful." I walked off stage. Rebecca met me in the wings, hugged me tight. "You did it," she whispered. "I'm so proud." The ceremony continued. Names were called. Diplomas distributed. Jessica Martinez, Bachelor of Arts, Communications. She walked across the stage, accepted her diploma. The applause was thin, scattered. After the ceremony ended, I was heading toward the exit when I heard my name. "Sarah, Sarah, please wait." I turned. Dad was pushing through the crowd, Mom right behind him, both looking desperate. I stopped. Waited. They reached me. Dad's hands were still trembling. He looked older up close, broken. "That was you," he said, voice cracking. "All this time, the scholarship program, everything you've built." "Yes." "We had no idea," we thought. Mom's voice broke. "We didn't know what happened to you. You could have tried to find out." "We did," Dad said desperately. "We called hospitals, police. CPS wouldn't tell us anything, because I asked them not to." Silence. Jessica appeared beside them, face blotchy from crying. She looked at me and started to speak. Don't, I said quietly. Whatever you're about to say, don't. I'm so sorry, she whispered anyway. I destroyed everything. Yes, you did. Can you ever forgive me? I looked at her. Really looked. Saw genuine remorse, genuine pain. Maybe someday, I said. But not today. And maybe not ever. I haven't decided yet. We want to make this right, Dad said. Please, tell us how. You can't make it right. What's done is done. But you can respect my boundaries now. I'm not ready for a relationship with any of you. Maybe I never will be. But we're family, Mom pleaded. No, I said firmly. Rebecca is my family. She chose me. She showed up. You threw me away. I turned to leave. Dad's voice stopped me one last time. We're proud of you, even if we have no right to be. I looked back. Thank you. But I don't need your pride anymore. I have my own. Rebecca was waiting by the door. She linked her arm through mine. Ready to go home? She asked. Yeah, let's go home. We walked out into the sunshine, away from the past, toward the future I'd built for myself. Behind me, I heard Dad's voice. Broken, devastated. We lost her. We really lost her. Mom's response, we lost her 8 years ago. We just didn't realize it until now. I didn't look back. Some chapters close. Some wounds heal. Some families are found, not born. And sometimes the best revenge is building a life so beautiful that you don't need revenge at all.